Do 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 do. Hello, my hair besties. I love you guys and I miss you. And we're gonna talk about a special something that's happening here.
What is that?
Look at it. It says Pure Enlightenment. Is my new exciting collaboration with Pravana balayage bleach kit, and this is so exciting because it comes with everything you need in here to balayage with. And first off, I want to say something, okay? No, I did not just slap my name on it. It's not something like that. I actually was a part of this whole process. I went into the Pravana color testing lab. We developed this product together, and to make it a really good product for you guys, so you guys get into the salon, do your client's hair, you can be very confident and also have fun and also have like a good product in your arsenal. So when you perform your artistic technique, that you would feel proud, easy, and just create beautiful colors. So with that being said, I'm gonna open the box.
Inside?
Let's open this box. Okay, let's open this box.
Dun, 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 dun.
Well, first I want to turn it around so you can see. Here are the models. Here, oh, that's me. And then there's all the stuff that comes with it. There's a DVD, guys. There's a DVD in here. The DVD has the Diamonds in the Sky technique that I love teaching to help you guys do the technique a lot more easily. And it comes with this, I like to say, a palette, or yeah, a palette with this reservoir that's really deep. I like this reservoir because it's really deep, and you definitely need it because it has this little raking thingy, so there's ridges there, so you get to scrape the remaining product off of it. And it has a nice angle to it, which I really like. And then it has some developers. It has the low, the medium, and then it also has the high. So they're all in here. And then there's like a technical guide, so you guys can learn some of the techniques that, that I developed for you guys, so you guys can have fun. Oh, that's me. Nobody special. And you get to learn about the product. And what I love is that it has the keratin, the aloe, rice flour, and kaolin clay. So not only does it lift the hair, but also condition and protect the hair. It's one of the strongest balayage lightener that exists. And I didn't want it to be like a Me Too type of product. I wanted it to be different. I wanted to have like conditioning power. I wanted to lift and lift stronger than most balayage lighteners that exist out there, because that's the main problem with kaolin clay type of lighteners, is that it doesn't lift enough. It's too weak. So this one I feel is one of the strongest that exists, but also nurturing, conditioning to the hair, which is very rare. So, because it has the keratin and the aloe vera, and also the developer. It's very important to mix the developer with it. And most importantly, you have to measure. Right, Christy?
To the T.
Yes, because people don't measure these days. They measure everything else.
Precision.
But they don't measure their lightener, which is important. So you can see the technical stuff, like how the placements are. You can see that. So I don't know, can you see that? It's pretty cool. So all the information's in here, and most importantly, oh, there's like some meshes in here, which is really nice because it keeps your area clean when you apply the lightener. And here is the lightener, the bleach.
Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. So this is the magical tub, and all the goodies are in here. So, and also, I also partnered up to develop these toners, these express toners. It has 7 different flavors and a clear, from copper, ash, gold, natural, beige, you name it, all the flavors are in there, so you get to tone the hair in just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So let's get started.
Okay.
5 minutes. All right. Prefer to weigh with a scale, just because you get the same consistency every time, and consistency is key to having the same product perform each and every time on every single one of your clients. I like to say, because if you just eyeball the developer and just pour it in, you're gonna get different consistency, which affect the placement and how you apply the product, but also affect the lift, because one product is too wet, one product is too dry. So I highly recommend, please measure your developer and your lightener. The scale is everything. It's so important. So anyways, with one scoop, I'm going to get the lightener out, like so, and I'm going to dump that in. And I find that 1 to 2 is very nice mixture for me. See, it's 20 grams, right? So since it's 20 grams, I'm gonna double it. So I want this to be 40 grams going into this. And it's different than when you were to mix it with like, you know, 4 ounce of developer versus like 1 scoop of the powder, because the weight is different. So this helps me measure every time. So we're gonna go in. Okay, we're gonna wait till it hits 60, because that will make it double the developer. And you guys know I'm not good at math, so like when I have to like deal with numbers and stuff, it's always a challenge. So that's why this is so important to measure. Okay, let's pour. There you go, see that? So now that's up, this is ready to be mixed. And I like to mix with a different brush, or maybe even like a whisk, versus using the brush you're going to use, because you don't want to wear out these bristles. And this is the brush that comes with it. These are the Fermar brushes, partnered with Guy Tang and Pravana. So these brushes are very special. So I'm going to stir this up now. So I stir it carefully like this, and as you whisk it, it will all just blend in together, and you should get like a very pasty consistency. And be gentle and patient with it as you mix. Like that. It's gonna look a little thick, but do not add more developer, okay? Just trust that it's gonna go, you know, mix well. I'm just gonna go quick here. And you do want it to be thick, because that's what gives it that clay consistency. Like that. There you go. And that's the consistency you want. You see that? Okay. And what you will see is that even if you move it, it stays still. And even if you turn upside down, it doesn't come out, because it's really thick. And this is the consistency you want for the hair. Okay? So sometimes I just get it out just a little bit. Alright guys, I opt to use the big brush because I want to cover more areas of her hair all at once. So here, I'm going to get the product. Okay? And we're just going to apply it down the center first, like that. And look how it goes on, very nice and dry. And this is why I love the product. It spreads so well. Okay, and you can swipe more, get off of the palette, and stroke it up the hair. And you could go heavy. Don't be scared to go heavy and go high, because the product is very forgiving. You're not going to leave stripes, patches, or anything. The lightener does not swell. This lightener is designed for hair painting or balayaging, so you get more creative with it without the fear of creating a harsh line. Yes, you know, some people like to use regular lighteners, but it could be very frightening because you never know what surprises you're going to get because of the bleeding. And then you have to deal with cotton and things like that, which is fine, but that's what's cool about having a lightener that helps you, you know, not have to use all those other extra things, and also get sun-kissed results every time, and, you know, get a wider section without, you know, being scared. Okay, what I'm gonna do, you can choose to create like a more penetrated effect, like that, if you like, but sometimes if I want to create more of a sombre effect, I don't penetrate all the way through. But with Christy, I want her ends to be slightly brighter. And because we are dry balayaging, I'm not going to use saran wrap. It's open air. We can overlap a little bit and not worry that it's going to damage the hair or anything like that, because it has aloe, keratin, and everything in it. And I like to put the mesh right under the section so it's clean. I think that making it look clean is very important for your client, because you don't want the lightener to be all over the place. Okay. So I'm going to do the same technique on this side, because you want it to be even. So for me, what I do is 2 sections at a time, and then I switch over to the opposite side. Swipe. And it's up to you. You could create V shapes, W shapes, or an entire panel. And the reason why I like to go at a diagonal is because it creates more of a seamless blend. And that's why I call it the Diamonds in the Sky technique. Named after Rihanna's song, Diamonds in the Sky. And that's where that name came from. And look at how pretty that looks. I just love, I mean, I just get so excited just watching the lightener sit on top of the surface of the hair. And again, just slightly lay the hair on it and swipe. You have to keep the motion going. That's the key here. Okay, just keep that motion going. And then get that mesh sheet and lay it down because you want it to be clean. And sometimes I just apply a little bit more like that, just so it'll stick in that hair. Now keep in mind guys, I don't want to lay the mesh over, and let me tell you why, because I find that when I try to peel the mesh up, sometimes the lightener sticks to the mesh at the bottom and it peels off of the hair. So I'd rather just let the product dry process, or you could lay a saran wrap over if you want more, a greater lift on each section, because of when you trap it, there's more heat conduction. Let's face it, it becomes more insulated, but I want to create more of a sun-kissed feel, and that's why I leave it open air. Sometimes what I do is I even, apply the foil up here, because it needs more lift on the surface, but then if the hair is already pre-lined and you want to lift it some more, but then you don't want to overlift it, you can let the ends expose open air. So if I want to create more of a baby light effect, I could take smaller strokes on each side, like so, like that, and go down the center. So it creates more of a soft baby lighted effect, and that's fine. I could do that too. See that? You create like little shimmers of highlight. But if I want to go heavy, I could too. So this is one way to do it. As you can see with the lightener, you create like little shimmers of color kind of coming through like this. And then what I do is I go down horizontally and just blur it down. So the baby light kind of blends into more of a sun kiss effect, and maybe slightly heavier. So you can see the shimmers and the breaking point between each color. So you could connect that just a little bit more through there, just like so. And then maybe bring that highlight down a stroke. So you get more of a baby light feel. But what I really like to do is I like to go a little bit harder and heavier, because the lightener is so forgiving, you're able to do that. Especially in the corners, I like to just get in there and hit it hard. Just like that. And just apply it more heavily, because it's going to create a sun-kissed effect anyhow. But if you desire to make it look more shimmery, and maybe it's your first time doing a balayage technique and you just want to get more familiar with it, you can. So just like that, swipe it down. And don't over apply pressure. In the kit, you also get the detail brush that's angled, as you can see here. There. Okay, so this will give you precision work. So if you want more microfine highlights like this with single strand, you can use this, especially around the hairline when you're doing a face framing highlight retouch, and you only want it to look sun-kissed. You could just do the lightener and apply it on, which is this little tiny brush. You're able to get one strand at a time, and then you could get the strand right in front of it. Just like that. And you could do, I find that sometimes when you do precision work, you need a microfine brush like this that's slightly angled so it blends better. Like that, around the hairline. Okay, and then we're gonna pick up each section of her fringe. And I'm kind of giving you this so you guys could see how there's so many ways to use this, this lightener. Okay, you could break that up. Let's do two. Okay, let's do two panels. Or two highlights. Okay, so you could do one on this side, and then one kind of retouching around the face. Just connecting it through. And don't worry, when it looks heavy, it's really not that heavy. You can just swipe it through just like that. Okay, you just lay it down. Kind of just use the pick and slide it through. Okay, and go to the next section and do the same thing. Okay, so I am done with Christy's hair. So I'm gonna let her process for 30 to 45 minutes. And as you can see, it's very beautiful. I'm gonna move her back and forth here so you get to see this beautiful hair painting creation. And I'm gonna lift each section up so you get to see how on Christy, I penetrated only on the ends to create an ombre effect. But yet when I pull it up, you can see that there's still some depth right up in there because I still want dimension. It's very important that you get that dimension so it does not look flat. And that's very crucial. When she's processing, you want to make sure she's move her head back and forth, talk on her phone, do all this stuff. Make sure your client knows that she needs to sit still. You can place a saran wrap over it if you want it to have even stronger lift, so it has that insulation, incubation. You can. However, I just like to do a dry balayage because I'd rather it be open air so it looks more sun-kissed. And I find that the lifting process looks more natural that way, but that's me, and that's the difference between using a dry balayage technique versus saran wrapping each section. And you can. I have done balayage where I saran wrap each section, and it does get lighter because of that incubation, and you could do that as well. But with the new balayage lightener, you don't need to use all the saran wrap. I'm sorry, you don't need to use all the cotton for separation because the product doesn't bleed on each other. It does not swell whatsoever. Alright, so it's been 45 minutes, and this is how I'm going to check. I'm going to open her up, and you can see that it starts to kind of break apart. It's flake a little bit, and that's what we want. Okay, so I'm going to open, and you can see the color is turning really blonde. These guys see that where the product is? I'm going to break it up a little bit more. Okay, you can see how blonde that is just from looking at it right in through there. So you can see the lift. And this is the underneath, the dark, her natural. See that? That's her natural. You can see the highlight that's broken up. So I'm going to break the shell. So as I break open the shell, you can see that highlight. Here, take a look at that. See? Look how beautiful that color is. That lifted to like, I believe like almost a 10 next to her natural level 7 base right in through here. Look at that contrast. So we're gonna tone just that root area to blur it even more. I mean, it's blending so well as is, but why not blend it even more? Just to soften that, just so it'll bring it together, because I don't want it too white up in here, and maybe just leave the ends out. But this lift is perfect. There's so much dimension going on in there. And this shell cracking is my favorite part. You know, you could do it just to kind of see, but you can see all the dimension that's in the hair as is. So let's go shampoo. The first thing you know is Chrissy's hair is naturally curly. But what I love is that her ends have been brightened. I don't want to tone her ends. I'm just gonna leave it raw because it gives it that bright glow that will look good. But up here, look how beautiful that blend is on damp hair. I mean, it's damp, but you can tell it's blended and very, very beautiful. But I want to mute out the root and blur her natural color, which is a level 7 ash. Just kind of take that ash and blur it halfway down through here. So it creates more of an integration between her natural and what has been pre-lifted in the past, and then the color now. So I'm just going to blur it out about 2 inches all over her head for 5 minutes. And then just leave the ends out. I think this color is way too beautiful. I mean, one thing I love about this lightener is that it just lifts to a perfect color, you know? So I'm gonna mix that. Now, I took the liberty to make this swatch myself. These are level 9 swatches, and I always feel it's important to make your own swatches so you know what the colors will look like, so there won't be any surprises. These were toned in 5 minutes on damp hair. So you can take a look at it. There's the beige, the gold, the natural, the pearl, the copper, the ash, the violet. So on Christy, I want to mute out her rootage area. So I'm gonna mix natural with the ash together, equal parts. And what I love is that it's ammonia free, which is a demi-permanent color, so there is not gonna be that lift. Some demi-permanent toners does, you know, it's more alkaline, so what happens is you shift the base and you warm it up, and it's like, oh, I didn't expect to do that, you know, give them hot roots and they're glowing, and you guys know what I'm talking about, you've seen it. So that's cool that this doesn't contain ammonia. It's an acidic demi, so you're getting pure deposit, and you're mixing it with a zero lift developer, and it's 3 ounces in a tube. And then, so because there's 3 ounces in this big tube, if you're gonna mix the whole thing, you would do 4.5 ounces of developer. So, and that's what I mix right here. And we're gonna get started with the toning now. So you get the bang for your buck, lots of color in one tube. All right, so I'm gonna root her, creating a shadow root with the toner. And what I like is that in just 5 minutes, everything is done. And I get to shadow that root so it doesn't glow. Not that it is, because it blended so well. But I'm all about making it blend even more, so why not? Okay. So about 2 inches, apply the product 2 inches away from the, I'm sorry. So apply the product from the scalp and 2 inches down. That way you get the perfect seamless color blending. What I love about creating a slight shadow root with the toner is that it makes it look more modern, more natural, more realistic, more lived in, and like they're born with it.
Gradiency.
Yes, Christy, gradiency. You get more gradiency when you shadow the root down, because I feel that natural hair that grows in looks a little bit more muted at the roots versus hot rooty. You don't want anything to look like it's glowing at the roots, because most people, it looks more quiet and soft at the roots, and then you'll see the ends get brighter and lighter, because that's what the sun would do. It'll bring the natural warmth out of your hair. So that's why I opted to not toner ends. I don't want to over soften those ends and mute them out, because it'll look dry if you make them ash. You want to make sure they look bright, but that's just my vision. If you do want to mute it out because that's your vision, that's cool too. However, I just feel that I'm going for more of the natural approach, and I'm gonna repeat the same throughout all quadrants of Christy's head. And all it takes is 5 minutes. And don't worry if one section sits longer than the other. It doesn't matter. It will not over process. What happens in 5 minutes is what it will be. So don't get scared that if it stays on for 10 minutes, that it will go way, 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 way too dark. And then in 5 minutes, we should be done. All right, guys. Christy Rose Balayage hair painted ombre. Yes. I'm impressed. What I'm impressed with is we didn't even have to tone her ends at all. This is all just from that Pure Light Balayage Lightener by Pravana and Guy Tang, of course. And I know you were impressed because
Very
you're like,
impressed.
You're like, we didn't have to tone it, right?
It's beautiful. I mean,
it goes with your beachy personality.
It goes with
No, seriously,
her.
you guys. Christy does yoga on the beach. What else do you do on the beach? You go surfing.
Surfing, I build sandcastles.
Sandcastle.
you're gonna see her.
And you turn into a mermaid. You turn into a mermaid.
Absolutely.
You know what? Seriously, this color matches your personality so well. And the only thing that we use to tone is the Pravana Express toners, which is the
5 minutes.
the natural and the ash just at the root. Just 3 inches down, and it blends seamlessly. Toner free on the ends. I mean, that's pretty rare to get away with, and we
Beautiful, straight, curled, however you want to do it. Seamless.
How do you feel about what you do with her eyes and stuff with the makeup?
Makeup, I mean, like you said, she's a beach girl. She does the yoga and everything, so I want her to look like she's gonna go to the beach, hang out, gold, bronze. I mean, just everything screams California. Victoria's Secret beach baby.
Oh, Victoria's Secret. Yes, Victoria's Secret, guys. Give me a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram, Periscope, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and all the apps you have. I'm on there. And share with your friends. Leave some comments below. Tell us what you think. And
Besties.
yes, hashtag hair besties with Guy Tang, and give Ariana some love. She is my true hair bestie here. We're a big family.
Yes.
Love you guys. Bye, guys.